Yeah, sorry about that. I promise to have it better for next week. Or Thursday, in this case. I actually, oh, wait, not this one. Oh, yes, it is. Huh. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thank you. So, number
Here again.
sorry?
Don't worry, I'm here again. I don't know what's my internet or your.
No, lo que les decía ahorita, que tuve problemas ahorita con unas cuentas pro, entonces la mandé a la escuela y estoy usando la mía porque no, como, es que ven que, bueno, no es excusa, ojo, cambiamos de, ¿cómo se llama? De horario. No me fijé
Sí.
que estaban todas las cuentas pro ocupadas hoy, entonces agarré la mía.
Okay.
Y no, la mía no es pro, pues. Okay. Number 3, once the students are able to apply their knowledge in various contexts, they'll have in turn acquired the new material correctly. In other words, when testing, we need to learn about the student's process, but not check what they remember. In other words, you're gonna make it simple. You're going to make it simple to your students like that, okay. So let's talk about the characteristics of Kahoot test. Remember, it's the ideal situation, you're going to adapt it to your local circumstances. Number 1, validity. And these words, memorize it because it's going to be in the TKT. The validity. A test is valid if it tests what it's supposed to test. Do you agree with that? Pretty obvious, right? A test is supposed to be testing what is supposed to be tested. However, even though it's very obvious, continue reading, Paola.
Thus is not valid, for example, to test writing ability with an essay question that requires special knowledge of history or biology unless all the students share this knowledge.
Yeah, in other words, it's not valid if I say to my basic students, basic in English, right? By the basic level, and I say, okay, for today's exam, you're going to make a writing exercise about the French Revolution using causatives. Do you think they're going to pass the exam? Do you think they're going to complete the task? No, because they don't know. So therefore, the exam is not valid. Okay, so it needs to be valid if it contains the topics that you saw or you seen in the classroom. Continue reading, Paula.
Yes. It is difficult to design a proper test with a good validity. Nevertheless, it is essential for the teacher to know and understand what validity really is.
We're going to discuss that. So there are 5 types of validity, okay? Number 1, the construct validity is the theoretical ground in which the test is based. In order to construct or plan a test, teachers should research into students' behavior and mental organization. A properly constructed at the beginning and tests will not provoke any difficulties in its administration and scoring level or later. In other words, the first characteristic to make a test valid is that do your students will be able to answer it? Are your students capable to read the whole exam, to listen the exam, to even see the exam? Let's see if you have an exam and there you have, ya saben, con la nueva ley de inclusión, ¿no? You have 2, 3 children that they have hearing problems. And then you play an audio and they can't listen. Would that be valid for them? Would they be easy? Would they be able to answer it?
No, I don't think so.
No. So therefore, the construct validity will be invalid. That's why it says you need to know your student's behavior, mental organization, and administration, etc. What about the content validity? Can you read it, Jessica?
To test the students' knowledge, teachers have to choose what was taught, whether it was a specific vocabulary or various texts connected with the topic. For it's impossible to test the whole material. The teacher should not pick up tricky pieces that were either mentioned once or were not discussed in the classroom at all. So belong to the topic.
Good, pause there. So in other words, the content validity, in other words, to see if the content is valid or not, is that the level of English, the vocabulary, the grammar exercises, everything in the instructions should be for the level of your students, should be for them to understand. If you pick some parts of the exam and make it hard because no lo viste en el programa, because fue semana de exámenes, because el spelling bee, y dices, ahora sí se lo voy a poner porque, pues, ni modo que me digan algo, pero porque se frieguen. Do you think that will be correct? No. Check the 3 points at the end. The test is not a punishment. Ahora se las van a ver conmigo en el examen. The test is not a punishment or an opportunity for the teacher to show students that they're stupid or they're less clever. Both construct and content validity are closely bound and sometimes they overlap with each other. Content validity is closely connected with a defined item that was taught and is supposed to be tested. Simple as that. Whatever you see in the classroom, it should be tested. No more, no less. Como los gringos dicen, it is what it is, period. Okay? Now the face validity, read it, Annie.
Yes. It is how the examiner and administration staff do the test, where it is construct and content valid or not. Include today's and discussion and on the left.
Continue.
Include today's and discussion about a test. It will involve the teacher's cooperation and exchange of the ideas and experience.
Good. So check the picture over there, the illustration over there. Here is the teacher, and then he has a mistake, right? So that's the face validity. How the exam is made in their in the organization of the paper, the pictures, the words, the grammar. So you can even have another colleague, oye, te envío mi examen para que lo cheques. See, that never, you know, you might have some problems with that, but anyways, it is valid. Oye, Jessica, can you check my exam to see if it has a mistake? And Jessica, de buena fe, de buena voluntad, va a hacerlo. Pues la verdad es que Very few teachers do it, right? But anyways, that's the face validity, that your exam should not have a mistake, should not have illustration that it doesn't apply to it, or maybe for example, I did an exam recently, like 2 weeks ago, or yeah, 2 weeks ago for ITESI, one of the universities here, and y se me pasó, ya ven que hay unos exámenes de fill in the blanks, entonces se me pasó ponerle la línea 1 y me regañaron, dije, ay, o sea, exagerados. Bueno, that's a face validity, right? That everything is well written. Backwatch validity, Paola.
Backwatch is the effect or repercussion of testing on tests. It could be negative.
Good. So the backwatch is what happens after the exam. Could be good or could be bad. Let's see how can it be good and how can it be bad. If the test is considered to be a significant element, then the preparation to it will take most of the time, and other teaching and learning activities will be ignored. I'll give you an example. Paola, maybe remember that 5, maybe 10 years ago, con los famosos exámenes enlace, ¿te acuerdas, Paola?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so they were,
that.
let me explain for the new generation, Annie and Jessica. Estos exámenes eran de la SEP, llegaban a las escuelas, no importaba si fueras pública o privada. Llegaban con las escuelas, con los directores, y vamos a evaluar, y evaluaban inglés, evaluaban matemáticas, química, no, coloquial, era español, matemáticas, inglés. Y sacaban a los maestros, los evaluaban a los niños, si pasaban, el gobierno les daba dinero, pero no a los niños, a las escuelas les daba recursos. Ok, eso era básicamente el enlace, el examen enlace. A los que estuvimos ahí, pregúntale a Paola, le daban el pitazo al director, oye, va a llegar entre el 15 y el 20 de agosto,
Sí.
el supervisor. ¿Qué crees que te ponía a hacer el director desde mañana hasta el 20 de agosto? ¿Qué te ponían a hacer?
Practicar y hacer exámenes.
Practicar. No, olvídate de nuevos temas, olvídate de nuevas enseñanzas, olvídate de todo eso. That's what it says. If the exam is very important, according to some people, your teaching might be broken. Your learning process might be broken. Right? So, well, the next paragraph, what it says that is already in many schools of our country, teachers are facing centralized exams, blah, blah. Otro example, another example, Annie, tú que vas a entrar a una escuela presencial, el famous spelling bee. Have you had that experience?
No,
No? And you're going to be starting working for a private school, and the spelling bee is a huge thing. It's very important. ¿Por qué? Pues porque es para los papás. Vende, ¿no? So 2, maybe 3 weeks before the spelling bee, they're going to ask you to practice, to memorize, to... oye, pero olvídate el programa. Do the spelling bee. So anyways, that's part of the... hasta que tengan su escuela, van a poder cambiarlo. That's part of the job. So look what it says in the third point. As a result, we will have a negative backwatch for the objectives of the course, different from the objectives of the test. It will be negative, right? That's why many of our students in the last they didn't pass, because it wasn't oriented to the topics. Next point, there can be a positive backwatch as well if the course is designed to make students pass certain exam. Example, a TOEFL course, it's all about passing the exam. Or a Cambridge course is all about passing the exam, okay? Good. Am I going too fast? It's okay.
It's okay.
Thank you. And finally, the criterion related validity. Read it, Lucy. Lucy? I mean, Jessica. Lucy is your mom, sorry.
Sorry. Criterion related validity. It is connected with criterion and evaluation that teacher uses to assess the test. This, the teacher has to design a definite evaluation system and then explain what she thinks is worth evaluating and why. This is what, not bad. This way, students will be aware of what they are expected to do.
Yes. In other words, what are the percentages of your evaluation? What are the number of points for each question? And you need to explain that to your students and say, okay, this is exam, vale 100%, esta sección vale 3%, etcétera, etcétera. My suggestion, teachers, as much as you can, no? Normally the private schools, they have their own exams, but if you have to make your own exam, make it simple. My final years as a teacher in front of a classroom, mis exámenes eran 11 preguntas. Cada pregunta valía 10, or, you know, para el 100. La 11 era de rescate. Así tipo, ¿cómo se llamaba el mejor amigo de Batman? Cantano. O si hubiera sido en nuestra época, le hubiera puesto complete the sentence. Baby Shack, blanco. No, something, o sea, les daba un punto. When I began to teach, yo me creía bien fresa y cremoso. Y me hacía unos exámenes, no sabes, así de 100 páginas, no decía tampoco, de 5 páginas. Y esta sección valía 50 puntos y esta 30 puntos. Don't do that. Your social life will disappear. Your life will disappear. Make it simple. Okay? And it's easier for your students. Right? It's a suggestion only. You decide, but the criterion validity is when is valid when a student knows the percentages, the exact percentages and the exact points for each question or section. Okay? Good. Now, next one, reliability. According to Vinom, a test is reliable if the score obtained by students in the same would not change if it were applied in various days, either to the same group or similar group. In other words, a test is reliable, o en español confiable, when the test, let's say that Lucy and Annie, you both are TKT students. When you apply the TKT, you should have about the same result because you were with me, because you studied ahead, because you took the course. Okay, so that means that is reliable. If you have a TKT exam and Lucy passes, but Annie doesn't, something went wrong and it wasn't reliable. How can you make a test reliable? Dice, a reliable test will contain well-formulated questions or tasks, no indefinite questions. The test will always present reading exams at the beginning in each task to clarify what should be done. Again, instructions should be clear. And more than that, it says here, write an example. So there wouldn't be any questions from your students. Reliability also depends on the people who mark the test, the scorers. And this could be a challenge. And some institutions, let me tell you this, and so, digo, lo he visto 2-3 veces, no es muy común. But I've seen it. La coordinadora, el coordinador se siente así bien acá. And for example, Lucy, Annie, and Paola have level 1. Different groups for level 1. Entonces les da el examen, el coordinador, dice lo que hace, ¿eh? The scorers, o sea, más bien ustedes, los teachers, apply the exam, y entonces Lucy le pasa los exámenes, sus exámenes a Annie, Annie a Paola y Paola a Jessica. Everyone will score different students. It's up to the coordinator and up to the institution. Okay? However, human factor is involved. So if Jessica le dice, me cae re gorda esta Annie, attitude may affect. Or, mira, tengo el alumno de Annie, híjole, me caía re gordo del año pasado. So attitude will affect. So if you have that, because it has to, it is imposed by schools and coordinators, just go with it and let your attitudes and emotions outside, okay? Good. To summarize, we can say that even though validity and reliability are good qualities of a good test, they're not enough to ensure success. But this is the summary. Number 1, Jessie.
The test should be practical.
Test should be practical, teachers. No need choros, no need ¿cómo se llama? Palabras rebombantes, ¿no? Something simple. The simpler, the better. Paola, next one.
It should be easily understood by the student.
Yes, if a student is having problems understanding an instruction, your exam is not valid. Simple as that. Students should be able to understand without the help of the teachers. Digo, hay un margen de entendimiento, but in general, if the teacher is not there, the student should be able to answer it. So again, the simpler, the better. Okay. Number 3, Annie.
It should be easily stored and administered.
Again, very simple, percentages, very simple percentages, very simple criteria. No need choros, I mean, simple. Next one, Jessica.
It should not last for eternity.
Yes. You have 60 minutes for a class. Se avientan un examen de 59 minutos con 50 segundos. Don't do that. I mean, it's the backwatch is negative. Next one, Paola.
It should encourage this rather than mother their own abilities.
Good. It should encourage. If you make it too hard for the student on purpose, obviously they're going to fail or they will have a low score. That's not encouraging. That's actually bad for their self-esteem, right? Por eso hay muchos que dicen, hombre, yo no me gusta inglés, pues no. Se los traen azorrillados, ¿cómo? And the next one, Annie, the last one, sorry.
Yes. It should be measured while it's supposed to measure, so it shouldn't go beyond students' ability.
Thank you. It shouldn't go beyond students' abilities. Again, with the abilities, right? The hearing ability or even the knowledge ability. If it's basic, it's basic. Simple as that. Go through Google. De hecho, vamos a hacer la tarea. Bueno, otra vez digo, la tarea. I want to read the last one. The test will be a true indicator of whether the learning process and the teacher's work is effective or not. ¿Qué tal, eh? Again, you have 20 students, 15 fail, it's your fault. Simple as that. Right? Okay. So, for homework, remember that this is for Thursday. I need you to have go to Google, or if you have your own, that's okay. But well, actually, it's better if you have your own exams. But if not, go to Google and download one basic exam and one intermediate or advanced exam. Si van a Google, es muy sencillo. Download PDF English basic English exam. It's going to be 1.5 billion different pages. Choose one, download it. Once you have the basic and the intermediate exam, so then analyze it. Analyze the 5 characteristics. If it's valid, the face validity, the criteria, all the things that the characteristics that we talk about as good characteristics of the test. Check it out. If you have your own exams, do it with your own. That's even better, right? And then we discuss it next Thursday. Okay?
Yes, yes.
All right, so what's homework, Jesse?
Look out for 2 exams, one basic and another intermediate level of English, and look if it works or it doesn't.
Good. Okay, well, let's call it a day. Thank you very much. Remember that that's why it's a two-part class in this week. So we finish the topic on Thursday, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day and tomorrow, and I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you. See you.
Bye-bye.